Before you start, I have a question.
Go
I
for
have a
it.
question. Because there's a baby here, does this mean we have to make this G-rated?
He's got headphones, man.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
Headphones.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Hey guys, I'm the Philosopher, and welcome to the Console Xplosion Podcast. We have new changes going on, big things. First thing is that we are doing live streams of our podcast now. We're going to be doing it on Wednesdays around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then we'll be uploading an edited podcast a week later on the Friday after the next week that it will be uploading it the next Friday, and so not the Friday of, but the following week on that Friday, if that makes sense. Second, I do have a new co-host. I have Nick, aka The Weiler from DOG, Deadly Operative Grunt, so I'm very thankful for him to hop on and have a dedicated co-host to help me along this journey. So welcome him on board, and let's get to what we talked about. First thing we talked about was Legos, specifically the Lego games and the high volume of Lego games that are out there right now. You have all the different Lego games out there, and the main question kind of circulated around Lego Dimensions. Where did that fit into all the other Lego games? Is that just a cash grab like Disney Infinity and Skylanders? Next topic, Batman vs. Superman and the Suicide Squad. With Batman vs. Superman, there are a whole bunch of new characters being announced that are going to be in the movie. You already have Wonder Woman, supposedly Cyborg, Aquaman, The Flash, Zod, and a whole bunch of other characters, possibly Bizarro or Doomsday, we don't quite know yet. But the question is this: is this movie too saturated with high name characters? You have all these characters, are they just going to ruin it? Is it going to be like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3, or is it going to be something really good? You have the director, you have great actors, you have a lot of cool characters, so where are they going to go with this? What do you guys think? And then the last thing with Suicide Squad is just our impressions of it so far, how we feel about the actors, just kind of talking about it and recapping on all the information that has been announced so far. So we have all that and more. Again, thank you guys for watching our show. We have more and better improvements along the way, so stay tuned for that. But as always, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. God, it's so bad right now. Hey guys, this is the Philosopher, and we are doing some new things, got some new things going on. This is the first Console Xplosion Podcast, and we've got a whole bunch of familiar faces here, and a new little baby face. So first we got Tyler, the video game hunter.
Hello.
Hey buddy. Then we have Ian, the historic nerd.
How's it going?
And we have the owner of the Console Xplosion Podcast, Jared.
Hello, hello.
And then we have our new co-host who will be sticking around for the remainder of these episodes. We have Nick, a.k.a. The Weiler, and little baby Zoe Ann.
Hi everybody.
Oh, she's waving too. Excellent.
Yeah, she just learned it recently.
Excellent. Hello.
Hi.
If you want to go ahead and take away the first topic, Nick, I know you know a little bit more about it than I do.
All right. I guess the first topic.
Before you start, I have a question.
Go
I
for
have a
it.
question. Because there's a baby here, does this mean we have to make this G-rated?
He's got headphones, man.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
Headphones.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh. Hey, don't be
Parenting
surprised.
101.
Don't be surprised that kid stands up on a stroller and starts cussing out.
That kid's going to be like, fuck you, Dad. At the age of 2.
Fuck.
Or the fact that that kid's like will become dreadfully scared of wolves.
Right? If she does cuss, you need to teach her to say fucking on me. Don't do it on the show, though.
Anyways, let's go into story number 1.
Yeah.
All right. So story number 1 is obviously this week in video game news we got the announcement of Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens. So, that's cool. Obviously, like I don't personally like Lego that much myself, but this kind of begs the question: if we're just going to keep getting regular Lego games, what is the point of Lego Dimensions? Because like essentially, here's something that the average consumer went out and they spent $80 to get Lego Dimensions, and they also got a bunch of characters and level packs and all that kind of stuff. But they just keep coming out with other games, and they don't even make it so that like they tie together. So like this just brought up a really interesting subject, because it's like, what is the point of basically competing with yourself? So I mean, even if you're not a Lego fan and you don't play the video games, it's a weird marketing decision to basically compete against yourself. It's like if Call of Duty released Black Ops and Ghost Warfare or Ghost Warfare or Advanced Warfare like the same year instead of 1 year after another.
So a question for you. So is Lego Dimensions, is that more like Skylanders in the sense you have to buy like characters and avatars and stuff for gameplay?
Yes.
Exactly like that.
Okay, so I can see how that's entirely different than actually releasing a Star Wars game in comparison.
Well,
Isn't it
yeah. I mean, it's definitely different. It's a full game rather than here's a level pack and a couple of characters.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's okay, but like for all the people who did spend a lot of money on, you got the portal, you got a couple of characters, then maybe you got a couple of mission packs, making it so that, like, for instance, when you have amiibos on the Nintendo, there's certain games that tie into the amiibos.
Mm-hmm.
So we have this new Star Wars, The Force Awakens coming out, but it's like it would be cool if they could integrate Dimensions into it somehow. But instead, we're just spending $60 more on another game. So it's a little weird marketing-wise.
I think you're just viewing it wrong. I think straight up, Dimensions is more for the casual gamer, the gamer, the child gamer, the one that has a low attention that just wants to play something real quick, throw in a character and go. The other Lego games, in my opinion, are full games that follow the whatever movie it takes place, right? So you have the Star Wars taking place after the Star Wars. You have the new Rogue One Lego game coming out. So you have things like that, right? So pretty much you have to take Lego as more of like an open sandbox experience with like Disney Infinity.
Right.
So you can build your own stuff, you can snap your characters together, you can add characters in there, and it's a pretty good experience because you get good characters, like Doctor Who, like Back to the Future, things like that. But I really think that it's geared towards children and geeks for the nostalgia value.
Right.
And the other Lego games are more generated towards, this is the franchise of this Lego game and the Lego movie that it's following. And I think it's a smart move because I think they're both two separate games and two separate experiences altogether. That's my opinion.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you make a very compelling point. I mean, I guess it's just, for them to just, you brought up Disney Infinity, but then you don't see Disney making a Guardians of the Galaxy game all by itself, or you don't see them making a Star Wars game all by themselves. They're not competing with themselves, and that's where this is really confusing. It's like, why compete with yourself, or why why go against it? And yes, it's two different kind of experiences, but overall, every Lego game is essentially the same thing. You jump around, you do a couple of puzzles, you kind of do a little beat 'em up and everything, and it's just depending on what universe you are. And like when Dimensions first came out, it almost made it seem like, okay, this is going to be the platform that the future Lego games will be built on, and instead they just like, okay, here's a couple of side stuff, like who would really, I would really like to see a full-fledged Back to the Future, a full-fledged Ghostbusters, but instead we don't get that, but we get a full-fledged, Avengers. Nobody really asked for that because we already had the Marvel superheroes Legos.
I asked for it. I wrote them and specifically asked, you guys need to remake the Avengers in Lego form. And they did. They said, you know what, Jared, you're right. We're going to do that. And here we go.
That's the power of
Jared right there. Seriously, when it comes down to, like you're saying, oh, well, Disney makes a Guardians of the Galaxy game. Well, Disney makes multiple games for a franchise that are released on multiple different consoles, so they're always competing with themselves. And the Lego, like I said before, I think are just two separate experiences. I agree with you that I would love to see a full-fledged Ghostbusters or a full-fledged Doctor Who Lego or a full-fledged Back to the Future or fucking any of them, really. But I think this is also a chance for them to dive into that, to show these properties, hey, look what we can do, right? Because a lot of those properties who are owned by Lego, they look at it and go, we really don't know how that our property would transfer over. And this gives Lego a chance, and depending on sales, perhaps we will see a full-fledged Ghostbusters Lego or a Simpsons Lego or even a Wizard of Oz Lego, right? There's so many possibilities that this opens up the doors for, in my opinion.
Yeah, I kind of want to piggyback off of that with a few things. One, I've only played like up to Lego Harry Potter 2, and I love that game. I love the ones that I did play for the most part, and I found this article on Forbes stating that Lego Dimensions actually outsold Disney Infinity 3.0 and Skylanders Supercharger, so it's already doing really well. And I understand what you mean about like seeming like it's competing with itself, but I think their idea and what they might be doing is kind of what Jared was saying. They're helping that. Games like Back to the Future and Ghostbusters, they might not sell as well if they have their own standalone game as it is right now. But if they create that demand, they might have an opportunity for it in the future. But then you have games that already exist, like the Avengers and the Batman, and you put those characters in the game. And I've never played Lego Dimensions, so I don't know if they advertise their own games in that game. But it creates the awareness of like all these other titles that they already have and are building. So in a sense, if they're doing this right, and Lego's been around for years and their games are phenomenal, and I don't know who their marketing team is, but I mean they do a great job. They always sell well for the most part. Their games are always really well made, and they keep getting better and better. But I would assume, I've never played this game, but I would assume that they would find a way to market all their other games within this one game. And at the same time, it kind of does feel somewhat like a cash grab, but they make such good quality games that, I mean, is anybody really losing in this situation?
No.
Good job, Tyler.
Well, I'll put this out there. In essence, what you have with Lego is I never really played their games because I never got into the. I would say it's like more of a like G-rated experience with the gaming.
Exactly.
As far as like the levels and missions and stuff you do, where they did. I remember them doing like the Harry Potter Lego, like a number of different Lego type games, like Star Wars Lego, stuff like that. I didn't get into that because I guess I didn't really care for like the imagery and the way it looked. But I knew a lot of people that really weren't big gamers that were into the Lego games for whatever reason. They just liked them. So in essence, they have a brand there that is appealing to more than just your typical run-of-the-mill hardcore gamers. So in that essence, you have people that are based on their nostalgia and liking of the brand, and then individuals who like the gameplay based on it being a Lego more simplified game. So you have the benefit there of it being a more single, more directed storyline as opposed to more open-ended like Lego Dimensions, to where you have this game that follows a story dynamic that people are expecting, and they'll get a game experience that they know they're going to get because they played the prior Lego games. So I think it's probably the audience they're going for with that, because they know they can make a game that people will like because they're not breaking any mold they've previously established.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And Prepare Idaho makes a great point as well about having something that's very physical but also still serves a purpose, kind of like Amiibos.
Yeah.
I have a roommate who has like literally a room full of Amiibos, and he uses them. But it is very cool to have something that, you know, it looks awesome, you know, you love the game, it has some sort of, you know, reference to something that you like, but it also serves a purpose within that game. So that is a great idea on Lego's part, or whoever the company is. I think it's Activision, right? No. It's not Activision. Who makes the Lego games? Does anybody know? We're going to find that out.
Yes.
Telltale.
Telltale, yes. It is Telltale.
Hurry, somebody Google it! Oh, God!
Well, I'm saying, I guess as a consumer, like pretending that I spent all this money on Dimensions, I guess I would like my investment to be more like an Amiibo. Like I said, where Amiibo, you don't just play like one game. You play Super Smash Brothers, you play the Tennis Smash, you play Mario Party. You know, like, so it's not just here's this one game, Lego Dimensions, and that's the only game you can play with this figurine. With the Amiibos, you can play anything. So it would be really cool, because you're right, Lego is very good in their merchandising. So it would be really cool if they could let me bring in, like, Marty McFly into the Avengers or into Star Wars The Force Awakens. I mean, it would be really cool, because it's like, I paid for this, and you know, I want my investment to be really worth it. And at least then, me spending more money on Avengers, more money on Star Wars The Force Awakens, I'll feel like, okay, my time wasn't wasted, you know? Because obviously, like I said, I don't personally play the games a lot, but pretending that I'm really invested, like I am a person who buys this stuff, you know, I want to make sure that my money's worth it to the company making all these games.
Right.
Well,
And
I can't imagine, because I mean, like, with Lego Dimensions, they pretty much established their own literal dimension as to where they're going to be using this merchandise and expanding their universe where you use these items. But as far as it being a cross-platform device to let them use it with other Lego games, they probably won't. They're probably going to keep it more exclusive towards Lego Dimensions. But then again, with Lego Dimensions, you're buying into that entire atmosphere of where they're going to be continually updating it and continually adding more content to it. So I don't think you should be too worried about what you're doing unless you just genuinely want that Lego storyline for Star Wars The Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see them just... It seems like when you develop these peripheral technologies where you can input the characters and carry them over into the game, you're developing a long-run formula that you want to have continue on. So Lego Dimensions, odds are, is going to have an exponentially longer run life than what like the Lego Star Wars Force Awakens is going to offer anyone who purchases that. So it's just one of those things where it's just what you're looking at as far as the game you're going to play, and Lego's Dimensions is definitely one of those ones where the peripheral gaming is going to keep it going for longer. But that's my thought. That's my thought without having played it.
Right. Well, no, like I asked a question, and I think you guys did a very good job of answering it.
Yeah.
I mean, the question was, what's the point of Lego Dimensions? And yeah, you guys pretty much answered it, and it makes sense. You're all making very good points, and you know, at least maybe in the future, you know, we'll get some like really cool stuff besides like Ghostbusters. Maybe we'll start getting like aliens and Alien vs Predator or something like that. That'd be really cool.
yeah, and this game still is very much in its early phases of the game. It came out in September, and I mean it's already selling well.
Yeah.
So I don't personally really play the Lego games. I know they're very well made. I know they sell really well. So I have faith that they're probably going to expand. I mean, if you look at Skylanders when it first started off, I thought Skylanders was going to be stupid and annoying, which if you sell the game, if you work at a game store, it is very stupid. But if for the people, people love those games. They eat them up. Disney is the same way. They love those games. I'm curious to know how Lego got the rights to the Marvel stuff and everything. I guess because they sell so well, it's okay. Because like Marvel vs. Capcom and all that stuff. But that's for another day.
That's because Lego owns the Marvel rights for the physical Lego blocks.
There you
So
go.
they own the rights for that. That's where a lot of these properties are coming from. Is Lego's been, it would be really nice to have, Sheldon, our Lego master, on this podcast. He's Sheldon Adcock is our Lego master on the consoleexplosion.com. He talks about everything Lego. It would have been really cool to have him on here, a part of this, because he's a great guy. But he would have really been able to put what different companies own who, right? So Lego owns all these rights to some of the biggest names, Marvel, DC, Wizard of Oz, Doctor Who, Ghostbusters, and then there's some other companies that own the Nintendo series in Lego block form, and Rotoblock, I don't know. And then there's the offset of Lego that they have all Call of Duty and Halo, right? So it's really cool to see. It's really cool to see what's being available, and I don't think that they would ever allow those properties to cross, but you never know.
What happened?
Awkward silence.
Oh, okay. So I guess it's a good segue, or a good spot to talk about. You have all these Lego games. You have the Avengers, we just talked about, and then I know me and you, Nick, were talking about Lego Batman and like a Injustice, or not Injustice, but Justice League game.
Right.
I don't, because pretty much there's Batman. There's 3 Batmans now, right? There's 3 Lego Batman games. Do you know, Jared?
Oh, yes.
There is. There's 3.
Okay, and the last one's pretty much like the Justice League, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
I think you can even play as Bizarro and stuff.
What? Bizarro?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good point.
Or
But,
skin.
I'll have to start playing some of these games. They need to make it. Is it online co-op yet?
Online co-op
for
the new Lego game? Online co-op for the new Lego game?
Yeah, for any of them.
I know it's local co-op. Actually,
Yeah.
you know what? Let me check, because I got the game sitting right here on my TV. I'm gonna go check. At this point, let's just take a quick second here. Just bear with me, folks. I just wanted to check something here real quick. The fuck was that? Baby's making weird noises. I'm gonna eat your soul.
Red rum.
No, sorry guys, I was just checking something on our feed here. Alright, let me just grab the game here. Give me a sec.
Okay. Well, while he's doing that, I just want to at least bring up the next topic, which is something that I've seen online, and I've talked to people personally who have been upset about this, and people are up in arms, and it's basically, does the new Batman versus Superman movie have too many characters in it? too many cameos, too many big name people. And before, I don't want to get too far into it until Jared gets back with his update. But just if you guys can kind of think about that on your opinions, anybody listening also kind of go ahead and throw your thoughts out there. But for you guys, the guests, just go ahead and think about your opinion. Like, you probably already have very strong opinions or none at all, but just like think about if you have, we have confirmed Aquaman, Flash, Wonder Woman. Supposedly Bizarro's in it, but I didn't see him on the cast list. You have Lex Luthor, of course. Supposedly you have Doomsday was confirmed, but I didn't see him on the cast list either. But I'm pretty sure in the trailer you have that person. And then there's a few other people I can't think of off the top of my head, but you have a lot of people in this movie. And so you have a lot of people saying, oh, they're blowing their load. This movie's going to be terrible, and it's going to be like Spider-Man 3 and all of this stuff. Is what. So just let that simmer for a second and start thinking of your opinions, and hopefully Jared will get back here in just a little bit.
So it says 1 to 2 players, offline play enabled. So I think you can play online.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't actually say. But Batman 3 Beyond Gotham, you can play up to 150 different characters and explore all 7 worlds of the Green Lantern. So that's huge. That's huge. So from the green to red to yellow to orange to blue to purple to pink, that's fucking amazing. I didn't even know that. And now I want to play this. Yeah, the Red Lanterns and all them. Yeah, you get to explore all of them. So that's really cool. And up to 150 different playable characters from heroes and villains. Yeah, fuck yeah. I'm so playing this. See you guys.
I'll be like that. The Red Lantern has a cat that vomits blood. How awesome is that?
That's not awesome. I'll be a bit worried.
All the Red Lanterns vomit blood.
Are you sure about that?
Yep.
I'm gonna ask my dedicated comic guy about this because I'm unsure. But did you happen to hear the question that I was asking earlier?
Yes, I did. You wanted to know if we were going to end, if the Batman versus Superman is going to Sam Raimi up their movie.
Yes, exactly. So whoever, go ahead and dig at it. I'm going to let you guys go ahead and go first before I share.
Yes.
Let's start with the co-host here. You're up.
Yeah, I'm a little afraid that that's exactly what's going to happen. I'm afraid that they're just putting too much of it. It's called Batman versus Superman. So right off the bat, anybody just coming off the street going, oh, I'll go see this, they're going to expect Batman versus Superman just by the title alone. But, what we're going to get is like maybe half, 3/4 of the movie is going to be Batman versus Superman, and then all of a sudden they're going to be like, well, here's this bigger, badder thing over here, so maybe we should work together. Like that enough is to be very convoluted, and it might make the story a little confusing. But I mean, ultimately, it just comes down to the fact that I don't know. I guess it's just confusing. Why have so many characters? Because then this person isn't going to have enough time. That person isn't going to have enough time. Are they going to develop Wonder Woman enough so that we know her motivations? Or if Bizarro's in it, is he just thrown at the end like Green Goblin in The Amazing Spider-Man? Or are we going to have a fleshed out character?
I don't know. I'm not expecting really all that much from Batman vs. Superman. They already ruined Lex Luthor for me. I am done. I do not trust Jesse. Was it Eisenberg? Eisenberg. Well, I don't care. So
Why? Why don't you trust him? It's because he has hair.
Because the way he looks. No, it's the way he doesn't look like Lex Luthor. He doesn't look threatening. He looks like a wimpy kid.
Yeah.
Who's
he looks like a trust fund kid.
He looks like a kid who, I guess, they just gave him the business. He's a spoiled brat. That's what he looks like.
My dad gave me a small loan of $1 million.
Trump joke. I can guarantee the way they're going to play this is that Lex Luthor got rich through like a tech boom kind of thing, and they're going to play him like the Facebook mogul. So they're going to play the character like that, and I can almost... sorry, spoilers alert. Spoiler alert. Yeah, I can't talk, sorry. He's probably going to lose his hair from the experiment with the character that's either Bizarro / Doomsday. But my concern about this whole movie is that, yeah, they are kind of loading it up with a lot of characters, but you got to think about DC is playing really aggressive catch-up with the Marvel Universe right now in the sense that Marvel already has the Avengers out. They already have that gigantic convergence of all those characters that are making them billions of dollars in the theaters. So DC has to play a really aggressive game of catch-up in the sense they got to make these characters appealing and they got to introduce them to you in a movie you're actually going to go and see. Because I can guarantee a lot of people at this point, if you were to put out a Wonder Woman movie, aren't going to waste their time and go see it. Because it's going to be terrible. I mean, like, if you look at the Green Lantern, that already proved that particular... Sorry, my dog crying. That particular DC IP is just not that big of a draw. So what they're doing is they're putting it into a franchise that will draw these people, and in essence trying to introduce these characters as believable, likable, and draw people to it. So it's a matter of, if they can pull it off right... You disagree, dog? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. But,
just don't make my super suit green or animated.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it really... I'm just concerned that my worry is that Doomsday is a really good character that DC used really wisely back in the 90s with the death of Superman. If it is Doomsday, I'm going to be really disappointed because he's a really good character that, honestly, like, no one expected to happen ever in the history of comic books. So I really hope it's Bizarro in that regard, but we'll see what they do with it.
That is the speculation, whether or not is that Doomsday or is that Bizarro, the experiment.
Well, honestly, it has to be Bizarro because it's made with Kryptonian DNA. So it's made
with Zod.
It's made with Zod, so it's Kryptonian in that regard, but it's made poorly with human engineering. So it has to be some creation or amalgamation of Bizarro in that regard. So I really hope it's not Doomsday because that's a really big waste of a good character.
Is it just a troll that they made him look that way then?
Well, I think they made him look that way because it's visually appealing. Because otherwise, Bizarro just looks literally dumb. I mean, if you've seen Bizarro in any other comic book form, Bizarro is literally a blue Superman who looks like he has Down syndrome. I'm sorry, but that's how the character looks. That's how it's been drawn in the past. So I'm just going to put that out there. Sorry.
Well, no, he pretty much is physically and mentally like disabled, physically deformed, mentally disabled.
Yeah, so it's literally like he's got an extra chromosome or something on board, which makes him not function as well.
Right.
That's just what happened.
Which is usually like his downfall is like his mental instability.
Well, yeah, I mean, like there's been some really good graphic novels in the past that have explored Bizarro in different ways. Like, for example, you have Superman: The Red Sun, where the United States used Bizarro as a super weapon to fight Superman. And as a result, because they engineered him poorly, they would take photo ops with him where he was far away and stuff like that because they didn't want to show him because he was genetically screwed up. So that's just what happened.
Jared, you got anything to add on?
Yeah, I think the new Batman versus Superman movie, it's going to really benefit from putting Sandman and Venom in it. I mean, add more characters.
I don't understand.
Those are Marvel characters, but whatever.
I
gotta have more cowbell.
Look, I don't understand why people hate Spider-Man 3. I don't think it was that bad of a movie.
Spider-Man 3 suffered from it. Spider-Man 3 is an example of what happens when Sony producers get what they want. I mean, Sam Raimi, honestly, arguably, with Spider-Man 2, made one of the best superhero movies that I think I can actively recall. I mean, you have a lot of forgettable ones now, but Spider-Man 2 is one of those ones that was really, it was good. That was really good, but I mean, like, Batman Dark Knight Rises was pretty freaking mediocre.
Ouch.
But I mean, Dark Knight, please, if you can defend Dark Knight Rises, please. I mean, that movie had continuity errors and the fact that time jumped around by almost years on end. It was really poorly put together.
Some things didn't really make sense. Like all of a sudden, was it Bruce Wayne's all of a sudden injured? I mean, when did he get injured?
Well, when Bane broke his back in the movie.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm talking about the beginning of the movie. I'm talking about the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, his leg is what he meant.
Well, that was because it was over. he was Batman for a while, and when you push that aggressively in situations, you break yourself.
But
That's what happens.
But it seems like he was hated for quite a while, and I thought everyone said Batman has abandoned them.
Well, no, here's the thing. Like, the character, in essence, having done physically extraneous stuff that requires you to push yourself beyond what you think you're capable of, I understand that your body will break, and your mind can push your body to its breaking point and beyond if you actually, like, force yourself. So you can do stuff, especially knees are really fragile, so it makes a lot of sense that he could break his knee in that regard and grind down the cartilage there. So it's not hard to do.
I'm well, I injured myself testing my green screen when I first got it.
You're like pushing it to like George Lucas level of.
No, I actually have a video of it. I actually have a video of it.
Oh my god!
I jumped to do like a flying kick and I landed wrong.
But in regard, you can screw stuff up pretty easily, especially if you're jumping around dressed as a bat. I mean, it's pretty easy to hurt yourself. But back to Spider-Man 2, that film was really well put together, and I think is honestly a benchmark for how superhero movies are made and how they're put together. And Spider-Man 3 was this thing where Sam Raimi only wanted to make 3 films, but he wanted a more dramatic film, I think, because Sam Raimi. He's a really good horror director, does I honestly think really solid action in the Spider-Man films, but Spider-Man 3 was one of those ones where there was too much interference from the studio as to what they wanted him to do.
Yeah.
And that was my thesis statement. Sorry, I was trying to get to it, but I got
sidetracked. I want to touch on that just a little bit because I felt very strongly about that. Like, symbiote Spider-Man was like my favorite form of Spider-Man in the cartoons.
I think it's like everyone's favorite, to be honest.
Right, and I just feel like they didn't portray Peter Parker the way they should have portrayed him. Like they tried, and he wasn't. I mean, he had the visual of an emo.
Oh yeah.
But they didn't quite portray him right. Like I loved how he reacted towards I think his name was it Flash Gordon? Not Flash Gordon.
Flash Thompson.
Flash Thompson, yeah. Right.
The character's right.
They found a perfect actor for that guy too.
They didn't give a shit about any of like he just didn't give a fuck. And he was just really aggressive and he had a short temper. He wasn't like doing tango dances and whatnot. I saw what he tried to do with that, but it just didn't work out and I didn't like the suit, but that's another tangent for another day. I want to jump back and go ahead and share my thoughts on Batman vs Superman real quick. Something
that what we're talking
about? No one really brought up. I am kind of surprised, and I watched this video from my friend Robbie. He made some very great points, and I definitely agree in a lot of these right here. But I mean, the first thing to look at is look at the director. You know, you have Zack Snyder. This isn't his first rodeo. This isn't his first superhero movie. So it's not like, and it's not only that, but I mean, he's done some great movies. He's done 300, where you have a lot of big name actors in this one movie. And you know, how are you going to do a movie about 300? Like no one had done that. He did a great job. Very visually pleasing. I thought it was very good. I mean, you might argue it, but it did really well. Then you have Dawn of the Dead, which I personally never saw, but I understand it did really good. The remake. And then the last movie, which arguably...
Don't forget Watchmen.
Yes, exactly, Watchmen. That movie, now...
Oh, that movie is terrible.
I haven't seen it yet.
That movie was very amazing. If you're a fan of the graphic novel, you're not going to like it. But for someone like me who saw the movie first, I thought it was very great, and all the characters on there were unknown. There were a whole bunch of superhero characters, and I thought they were really well done.
There's a serious difference in what Zack Snyder did with Watchmen, and because Watchmen, in essence, like he changed up the cinematic universe because there were things that just didn't work on film. Because in the end of the graphic novel, it was a gigantic, toxic squid monster that destroyed New York. It wasn't a bomb. So I mean, cinematically, that doesn't work out as well as what he was building to. Mm-hmm. So I can see how he would change that, and I can understand if people are pissed off about it, but ultimately, a gigantic squid monster hasn't worked since the 1950s, so I can see why he didn't go with that as far as for his film. I think Zack Snyder's a really competent director. Like, because honestly, like 300 is one of my favorite films. I really enjoy it. In essence, it's based off Frank Miller's work, which is based off the 300 Spartans, which is a really good 1960s film. And it's really fun in that regard. But like Zack Snyder also, if he has a lot of work to base off of, especially because a lot of the frames and concepts were already done in those graphic novels, So he had a lot of easy. So he could expand and work really well in the universe. So I really like Zack Snyder as a director because I really like Man of Steel. A lot of people hate it, but that's just their opinion. I
like it too.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it because it made Superman more believable, more realistic. Well, I mean, like for me, Superman.
Come on. Lois Lane just happens to be in every spot that every piece of action happens. Lois
That's how
Lane
it always is.
there.
You've never heard of Deus Ex Machina?
Well, because she's a good reporter. That's why.
Wait, how is that different from any other Lois Lane, though?
I don't like the Superman movies. I think they're all campy.
Wait. Answer that question, though. How is that any different from any of the other Lois Lanes, like in the cartoon or in the comics? Like, she's always, like, in the opportunities where he has to save her as Superman.
Yes, but she's like traveling around the world and something happens. And what American military would any installation at any point fucking allow a news media person into their top secret alien base?
She's Lois Lane.
Fuck that. Like, come on.
Lois motherfucking Lane, man.
The U.S. military embeds the media with them all the time, so it's not really that unbelievable. But yeah, in that situation, it's kind of
Area 51.
well, in that situation, it's kind of weird. But anyway, that was in Canada.
No. How many media have been to Area 51? I don't see Lois Lane there.
I'm sure a lot of them have been there.
That's what I
But
thought.
I'm sure she's been to Area 51 in the comics.
She made it my Area 51. Oh yeah.
The Forbidden Zone. Uh-oh. What was I going to say? I think another thing that people are looking too closely at is the actual title. We already know it's not going to be Batman versus Superman throughout the whole entire thing.
I know, they ruined it with the trailer.
Movie, can we sue for false advertising?
No, you don't need to see the movie. Just watch the fucking trailer.
I mean,
that's the movie.
That's
how
true.
shitty their fucking marketing department was well, you see the whole movie in the trailer. Oh, look, they fight each other. Then they become friends. Then they meet a girl. Then they fight over the girl. And then some weird fucking moldy monster comes. They have to all fight them together.
I don't know if they fight over the girl.
Can anyone name a movie where they stay true to the verses? Like Freddy vs. Jason.
Freddy vs. Jason?
Yeah, I mean, think about... Yeah, but
Alien vs. Predator?
They barely fought, though.
Look,
King Kong versus Godzilla?
They just end up teaming up and like, hey, we're going with this character. Let's go kill this one.
But they fought at the end.
Yeah, but I want just two characters. I don't want like no other people joining in and ruining the fight.
What you're telling me is you want just an hour and a half fist fight between two characters.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
You got
then
death
watch
battles.
fucking UFC.
You got death battles, celebrity death match, X-Men, or was it Deadpool versus Hulk or something like that? Wolverine versus Hulk. But no, to
Thor
go back.
versus Hulk.
Huh?
Thor versus Hulk.
Yeah, that
Sounds
one's
pretty
good
good.
too.
Or was it a Wolverine versus Deadpool or some crap like that?
I think it was Wolverine versus Hulk, but he wound up fighting Deadpool as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one was actually.
which was Nolan North, and that's just awesome.
Yeah. Planet Hulk was pretty good.
But with
the
Hollywood,
animation
I
one-
was about to say, with Hollywood money, they can make this an epic battle.
Yeah, but this is just my theory, but I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that this is obviously their introduction into the Injustice League because they can't follow the same format. You can't follow the same format as Marvel. You can't do a Superman movie, a Batman movie. I mean, obviously they already have, but you can't do a Flash movie, a Wonder Woman movie, which they are doing these as well, an Aquaman movie, but you can't just do the same exact format as what Marvel is doing and expect to get away with it and not be called out for it. Even if that did do well, people would still bitch about the fact that, oh, okay, you're just going to make a Superman, you're going to make a Flash, so on, and a Justice League movie? Oh, so predictable. Marvel did the same thing like 10 years ago. Come on, do something new. They have to do something new. It sucks.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I think, honestly, probably 50% of the movie-going public probably wouldn't realize that DC and Marvel are separate companies, so, DC could probably get away with doing it, no problem.
I wouldn't deny that.
That's the most annoying thing.
Yeah.
But as far as, it's definitely one of those things where DC is definitely trying to get their movie universe started, and they're about a decade behind at this point, so they have a lot of catching up to do. And as far as what the Nolan Batmans proved to them was that DC has some very viable IPs that translate well to films. and especially Man of Steel. It did really well. And then they had that aggressive setback, which was the Green Lantern, but that was also just a really bad movie. But it's one of those things where they're being really cautious about what they're doing, and I think that's the main reason why they're shoehorning all these characters into such a big film, because they know people are going to go see it because Batman and Superman are in it, and so they're just they're hedging all their bets in that regard towards two characters that have a big draw.
Mm-hmm. And then
so I think the worst case scenario for them is that they make this film. It doesn't do as well as they want it to, so then they go back to just making Batman and Superman films. That's probably what the worst case scenario for them.
I really think that this movie's going to do fine. It's going to do this, then it's going to introduce the Justice League, because that's the way it's going to go. What I'm really interested in watching and seeing is the opposite spectrum, Suicide Squad.
Oh, that movie's going to be garbage.
See? I think that movie has a better chance of being better for DC, because that can shoehorn in tons of DC characters. Because the Suicide Squad has had a who's who a part of it, from Bane to Harley Quinn to Joker to fucking Batman and Robin himself were in part of the Suicide Squad. So that can go forward as a series so much better than what I think they're doing with this Justice League.
Here's the thing about Suicide Squad, though. Like,
Jared Leto sucks.
I really enjoyed Jared Leto's a decent actor, with the exception of Mr. Nobody, which is a piece of garbage. But
No, I just meant as Joker, he sucks. I like him as an actor.
I'll give him a chance, because I mean, Jared Leto has done some pretty good stuff, and in essence, to me, he's already connected to the Batman universe through being murdered by Christian Bale in American Psycho, who basically Patrick Bateman's already Bruce Wayne in my mind, so it kind of works out in that regard. But to me, less people know about the Suicide Squad than they do about the Justice League. I mean, Justice League had the advantage of being that cartoon in the 60s and 70s and 80s, so and also 90s. So it has the
2000s.
And 2000s is it at this point. So it has the benefit of being name recognition, so people understand what it's going to be. But the Suicide Squad was almost kind of delegated to the offshoot of just comic book form. So I mean, it might translate well cinematically, but based on what I've seen with the trailers, I haven't been too impressed.
I think the trailers are fucking fantastic.
I love them.
It looks really mediocre to me. So we'll see where it goes.
Well, I'm totally new to the Suicide Squad, so...
Yeah, I don't know too much about them. I'm on the fence, because I have all these people, hyped up about it, and then I have, on the other side, all these other people who are like, fuck this thing. And I'm kind of in the middle between, like, I just want to see the movie, because I can't even have an opinion at this point, because, I mean, I personally don't like the aesthetics of the Joker. That's not Jared Leto's fault, but his acting so far has kind of impressed me. I think he will perform as a great Joker. I just have a personal opinion on how the Joker should look. I'm not DC, so I shouldn't have that opinion. I'm smart enough to know that that's just my opinion. I won't let it affect the actual movie, like my opinion of it. But it just, me personally, I think he just looks a little weird. But I understand kind of where they're going. I want to see this movie before I can't even have an opinion on it, because I know so little about the Suicide Squad. I like Will Smith. That is the one thing that makes me want to see it.
See, and that's where I think a lot of people are fucking hinging their dislike, is the fact of how Jared Leto looks. Mm-hmm. I think he looks fine, because if you look at the new 52 and I think it was Joker's Endgame, he looks exactly like that.
Okay.
So where he got the inspiration for that was from those last two comics.
Right.
And everyone needs to just fucking take the stick out of their ass, because even when Jack Nicholson showed up to be the Joker, everyone went, "Oh, I don't like that. No, that looks dumb." They did the same thing with
Heath Ledger.
Oh, I don't like that. He's not Jack Nicholson. But they turned out to like it, right? Like, just fucking give these people a chance. From what I've heard, and even from the other actors, he's done a fantastic job. People who've actually seen drops in the movie has been fantastic. If you want fucking Cesar Romero fucking Joker, go watch fucking 1960 Joker, right? Like, this is fucking 2016. We need a 2016 Joker, 2016 bad guys, not fucking running around in spandex or fucking bright colored CG outfits.
And I wanted to be clear that, I'll just say this real quick, that I know that my personal opinion on the Joker, like, I don't like the way he looks, but I'm not going to let that affect my opinion of the movie, or the overall.
Yeah. See, for me, I can honestly, the one thing I really like about what they're doing is, in essence, they're letting Jared Leto be his own Joker. So I can definitely respect the fact that they're taking the character in a different direction, because ultimately, everyone compares the person playing Joker to the previous one. So by letting him do this, it lets him create his own Joker, which is honestly the most important thing. So that's all I wanted to say, in the sense that he has to definitely establish himself as being the new Joker, which is harder to do because you have to break people's perceptions and what they expect from the prior one, which Heath Ledger did an amazing job with the Joker as it was in The Dark Knight.
Right.
Yes.
And yeah, you can't keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you try to copy the same thing, you're either going to like be compared to somebody else, or not exceed the expectations because you're trying to copy off of Heath Ledger or Jack Nicholson, or even Mark Hamill, even though he's never actually acted as the Joker. He's the voice of the Joker. And yeah, I mean, I personally think this looks weird, but I'm willing to give it a chance. Like you said, this is 2016. We need something new. We need something different. And apparently he looks close to the comics, in which I have not read. I'm not a big DC guy, so that's a big thing. That's like why I have no opinion on one overall thing. But yeah, who knows something, like who here knows a little bit about Suicide Squad, so that I can understand it a little bit more.
See, the thing I have to put out there is that the only thing I hate about the current Joker as he sits is that stupid damage tattoo on his forehead. That's the only thing I dislike. If that wasn't there, I'd be like 90% more on board.
If you want, we can Photoshop the whole movie and remove it.
Actually, we probably could. It'd be really easy just to like do the color match and just put a little swatch over his forehead for every frame. It wouldn't be too hard.
Oh, I can do it myself. Just put a black bar.
Black bar just on his forehead.
Also, it's called the Ian edition.
No, the special Ian edition of Suicide Squad. You know what? If you made that movie for me, I would 100% love it.
Maybe by the third one.
I love it.
See, because this is the part where, if they do follow this, in the sense of the end game, where he ends up getting his face taken off, and he puts a new face on himself, a new persona to hide. That's where they're going for this, I believe. I put a link in the chat there so you can kind of get a look before. But yeah, it's just the possibilities are fantastic, and I think the Suicide Squad overall is going to be a good addition, and I think they can run really well with it. I'll also put a link about the Suicide Squad in there so you can watch it on your own. So you can learn about the Suicide Squad and their backstory and everything. So I'll put that in the chat.
I like that one picture where he's holding his face.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you noticed, but it's pretty much I don't know what it's called, but it's pretty much like synonymous with like drama, old school drama, where you have the happy mask and the sad mask.
Yeah. Well, because what happens is he gets his face taken off by a doctor, and then a girl ends up coming up saying that she's the Joker's daughter. So she finds his face and gets his face surgically put onto her face, and she becomes the new Joker. Then she gets her ass kicked by Batman or someone, and then she gets a letter that says "Keep up the good work, kid," and it's written in blood, like Joker's blood, because Joker's gone after he takes his face off. He's gone, and he's never seen for again. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like it's a huge storyline. It's really cool. There's just so much to it. But anyways,
that's interesting.
I digress.
Cool.
Oh, I was gonna mention this. What's her name? Harley Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
Hot.
Yeah. Yes, it's the blonde one that's gonna be playing that movie, right?
Margot.
Yeah.
Hotness fans.
Have they said if they're going to explain her origins or not in the movie?
Probably. Yeah, they do. They show her as the Doctor.
Oh,
talking
they
with
do.
the Joker. Yeah.
I must have missed that then.
So she is a psychiatrist?
Hmm. And then she
Or
ends up
whatever you
looking
wanna
him
call
up.
it.
Okay, as long as they keep that in, I think I'll be happy with the movie. No, the Joker I actually don't mind about, actually.
The Joker.
Never mind.
I guess I'm just the odd one out then.
Aww,
Yeah.
it's okay. We gotta have differing opinions. I'm in the middle. I'm neutral.
I mean, I have no issues with the Joker. I actually just recently watched just Batman, the 1989 one. To me, that one's like the worst Joker in my humble opinion. This one, not so much. I'll accept it.
Wait, you thought Jack Nicholson did a bad job as the Joker?
In my humble opinion, it's the fact that I saw his face, and I was like, I don't want to see the Joker face. The Joker's face always has makeup, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
He was wearing
Which he ended
makeup.
up with.
Yeah, he kept wiping it off and putting it back on. I was like,
Damn it, Tyler!
he needs to have makeup at all times.
Tyler.
That's my Joker.
Tyler.
It's not
When
makeup.
When he had the big smiley face and he had the white skin, right? He painted the normal skin over top of his white face.
It doesn't look like it. It looked like he painted the powder on the
No,
skin.
because then when she hit him and threw the coffee on his face, that's why it ran and melted and looked like that.
Is that the second part of the movie? Because I'm only halfway through it at the moment.
Damn it, Tyler! God damn it! Yeah.
Okay, you said the second part of the movie. Okay, good. Like I said, I'm halfway through it.
Yep.
Damn it, Tyler.
That's Tyler.
I will finish this too.
Spoilers. This guy gave it to you. That's great. But we're actually hitting the time right here, so this is perfect timing. It's a good time to end on that note because Tyler.
Because Tyler.
But yeah. I will go ahead and I guess take it to Tyler and let him know where you guys can be, or where they can find you, where the guys can find you, anyone who's interested in your stuff.
Oh yes, you can find me on YouTube, the Video Game Hunter 32, Hot Anime 32. It will both take you to the same YouTube channel. You can follow me on Twitter, the VGH 32, and I have a Facebook page called the Video Game Hunter. Please follow me for updates.
God damn it, Tyler. All right, Ian, where can they find you?
You can find me at www.historicnerd.com, or you can contact me directly at historicalnerd on twitter.com, or you can find me on YouTube, which is just the Historic Nerd.
All right. And Jared, do you have any closing statements? You can always find you on the consoleexplosion.com, but do you have anything to say? Nope. Nothing.
Nope.
Nothing.
Yep,
He's
Jared's
dead,
gone.
Jim. All right. And
Yes,
then,
make sure you follow me on the console. No, I'm joking. I'm good.
my headset just died right there. I got tired of you. So, were you done?
Yep. No.
As
His
soon as I
comedic timing usually kicks in right about now.
and making sure I'm scared to talk now. So, as I was saying in the beginning of the show, we have a new co-host. We have Nick, a.k.a. The Wilder. He's going to be joining me from now on in our podcast. So I'm really excited about that. But I'll have a few more announcements, but if you can go ahead and tell the people where they can find you.
Well, they can find me at Deadly Operative Grunts on Facebook, on YouTube, and I constantly update. Every Wednesday is video game day, so I'm uploading something video game related. Every Friday is for movies, so movie reviews, previews. Every Sunday I live stream on my PlayStation 4, and that's interactive. I chat with people, plus just by coming by and saying hello, you get 2 entries into the monthly giveaway. So it's worth it to just come by and watch me for a little bit. And I'm quite entertaining. I'm not going to toot my own horn, but toot. Now, I just recently did a Slender where I screamed like a little girl, and Historic Nerd can vouch for that.
I'm sure it wasn't that bad.
No, it was pretty bad.
I mean, was it worse than my scream on what was it, Dead Realms or something?
That was pretty good. That one was pretty great watching you like wet yourself.
Maybe we should do a comparison video.
We'll have to do that because like you literally broke your headset, which was hysterical.
Oh, I didn't break it. I tossed it.
You were like, "Oh man, it's okay. Don't come in here. I'm fine." That was like what you did.
Waking up everyone in the house.
Yeah, you're like, "Ah!" Yeah.
Okay, and also thank everyone who stopped by the live stream and listened to us. We will be moving forward trying to do more live streams and having more interaction with you guys and hearing your opinions. You guys have great opinions, so we want to hear it. And so every Wednesday we'll be working on doing the podcast recording, and then every Friday we'll have the edited, I guess the prettified version uploaded. So every Friday we'll post it, and every Wednesday we'll do the actual live stream. So you guys can always check out and join in, give us your feedback, which would be greatly appreciated. And so more things to come. We're working on more things. We always got new things going on, so we're really excited. But as always, I'm The Philosopher. You can find me on Facebook.com/ThePhilosopher, YouTube.com/Philosopher, and Twitter @ThePhilosopher. But always, of course, you can find all our stuff on theconsoleexplosion.com. Always check out any of our affiliate links. I'm a big fan of Mad Cat, so I always talk about that. I'm really excited about being an affiliate with them. But yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you guys for stopping by. We'll have this up on Friday, and thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
I have one thing. Tyler?
Yes.
Headphones are on your cheeks! Fix it!
Your headphones on your cheeks.
No, mine are on my ears because I'm not a dog! Fix it! Okay, there you go.
You gotta raise yours up.
Yeah, you put them up here! That would where they would go in a dog.
Well, sorry, I can't twist the headphones.
Yeah, just fix it.
Can you just, like, leave your mouth,
You're
like,
listening
gaping
through your
open?
skull, and everything's going to be dulled out, and your gaming performance is going to be lower. But then again, you also don't have thumbs because you're a dog. And you're making me so mad.
Can you show your teeth, Tyler?
I hate him so much.
Xplosion.com.